I'm Manouk Akopyan. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to our partners, personal injury attorney Nelson Kevorkian. Usyk Fury happening December 21st. We all saw what happened in the first fight. A great performance from Oleksandr Usyk. How do you see the rematch unfolding?
No, rematch is a very difficult thing to call because Tyson Fury usually does really well in rematches. Although at the end of that fight, he did not have the momentum leaving the fight. So going into the next fight, Usyk comes in with the momentum, and momentum is a hard thing to shift. So he'll have to figure out a way to shift that momentum. I don't know that he has the power to do that, but if he was a power puncher, he could shift the momentum pretty easily if he just lands a big shot. He's not no power puncher like that, though. So I think, in my humble opinion, it's going to be very difficult for Fury to shift that momentum back to his field. If he can, he'll have something. But if he can't, then Usyk could just continue the dominance that he had at the end of the first fight.
You had rematches with two Hall of Famers, one who's on the ballot to be a Hall of Famer, and those are Antonio Tarver, Bernard Hopkins, and as well as Montel Griffin. Now, what goes in?
James Turner also.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. Going off the top of my head here. What goes into the preparation for a rematch?
A lot. You got to go. You got to train yourself to forget about the first time, or remember what you did wrong the first time to fix it the second time. And that's the biggest thing, trying to correct your mistakes from fight one to fight two.
And what are those mistakes that Fury must correct in order to beat Usyk?
Well, Fury didn't allow. Fury allowed Usyk to come in and fight like he was the bigger man. You can't do that when you fight a smaller man. You must come in and make him understand that he's in unfamiliar territory, make him feel like he's in a place that he's not supposed to be at. You saw when I fought Felix Trinidad, I didn't give Felix Trinidad no inclination that he was going to push me back or bully me. Why? Because he's coming up from 147 to 170, which is really light heavyweight. A welterweight has no business chasing a light heavyweight around the ring. If he does, that light heavyweight ain't trying to win. Not mentally, because where they do that at? You don't let nobody come up in your weight class and chase you around. That's like letting somebody come on your block or come in your yard or come in your house and run you off. Are you crazy?
Absolutely. And your final prediction, who do you think is going to win the rematch?
Like I said, it's hard for me to say that. I like both fighters. I think both fighters are absolutely awesome fighters. Tyson really does good in rematches, so Tyson Fury is going to probably be maybe the favorite even in the rematch because of how his history with rematches. But like I said, I think Oleksandr Usyk left there with the momentum, and I don't see Tyson being able to shift that momentum again. So I would probably go with Usyk.
Usyk Fury, how do you see the rematch going?
I think Usyk wins by stopping.
You think he's going to stop him this time?
Yeah, I thought Usyk. I predicted Usyk for the stoppage the last fight, but I also, when Tyson came in lighter, I was like, oh, maybe a little bit more interesting now. I just think Usyk is too stubborn. His speed is too stubborn. I just think his style is too stubborn for Fury to put up with, and I think the punches that hurt you the most are the punches you can't see. And most of the time, Usyk is hurting guys. It's with the shot they don't see. You don't have to be a hard puncher to get guys in trouble. And Usyk has a good understanding of that because the shot that he actually hurt Tyson with, it was a blindsided shot. It was blindsided, the ones that come from around here. So it's just one of those things. It was good.
So what do you think Fury needs to do to pull it out in the rematch?
I'm going to give you a good consumer answer. This is what boxing consumers think. He's bigger, so he should just walk right to him. Should nobody just walk right to Oleksandr Usyk? No, Usyk shouldn't. Fury should just walk right to him. I think Fury get beat worse if he just walk right to him. I believe he'll be walking in all kind of traps if he just walk right to him. I truly, I don't know. I just don't think Fury can beat Usyk. I really don't.
As someone who game planned for him throughout the trilogy, you really think Tyson Usyk has Tyson's number?
Yeah, because the mentality that he has now is the crunk style. I don't think the crunk style can beat Oleksandr Usyk. I think the Ben Davison style probably could give Usyk some trouble, but I don't think that like the new imposing, bigger, coming forward. I don't think that really gives that Oleksandr Usyk fight big men very well.
You think,
as you can see,
is there a heavyweight in the world that could beat Usyk? I know you got Wilder, but is there a heavyweight?
Yeah, I think stylistically, I think to beat Usyk in a 12-round fight, I think you have to possess serious power that can literally separate him from his senses. If you can't do that, you're going to lose. And we all know who got that kind of power to separate somebody from their senses. We all know who that guy is in the division.
If Deontay doesn't get the fight, is there anyone else you think who could beat Usyk in the division? Or are we talking about a generational great who's going to go down undefeated?
I'm trying to think. I really.
He's nearing 40, so he's running out of time too.
He beat Anthony Joshua twice. He beat Dubois. He beat Tyson Fury. He beat the ones that come like, bro. He indirectly is kind of cleaning out the division.
Yeah.
The only one he hasn't ran across was the one with the Alabama Slammer. So we're gonna see if he really want to make history. He should make that stop there too.
Do you see that rematch going with Usyk and Fury?
That's one of the hardest things to answer because I've been on Sugar Hill just about almost my whole life, which is Fury's training, and I know he's gonna work his butt off to make sure Fury showed Usyk something different than what he showed him in the previous fight. And I think that's gonna be the juggernaut. You know what I'm saying? Will Usyk prepare for the exact same Fury that he prepared for the last fight? Or will he be preparing for a different type of Fury? Me personally, knowing who Fury's coach is, I think he needed to prepare for a different type of Fury and not assume that he's going to come in the same way he came in the last fight.
We saw Fury's been involved in quite a few rematches at this point in his career, and we saw in Wilder he completely flipped the script and he walked down Wilder that entire fight.
That last fight, that's what I'm saying. He came with something different. That's the fight that he is Sugar Hill in. He came with something different. So that's what I mean by him coming with something different and not coming with the same momentum that he did the first couple fights.
Considering how close it was with the first version of Fury that we saw in May, do you think if Fury were to throw a curveball, change things up, provide a different script, it would be an easier night at the office for him? Not to say easy, but less difficult?
If he changed things up now,
yeah,
and this and come back to this third fight, will it be it'll be something different. I personally think that whatever Shahid's working on, whatever he's changing up, is going to be the difference maker in the rematch. That's why it's going to be such a hard fight because you got somebody that's coming back different than what they did before.
Coming from the Kronk lineage and seeing what Sugar Hill is doing, obviously Fury has spent a lot of time there throughout the earlier parts of his career. What would be your advice to Fury as far as what he needs to do to beat Usyk in the second time around?
Listen to Sugar Hill. That's it. I have no advice. I'm just telling him listen to Sugar Hill because he knows what to do. You know, the man knows what to do. You've seen he know what to do from the previous fights he had Fury in. You know what I'm saying? So just listen to him. I think he's going to come up with a different game plan. It's going to allow Fury to. I just think Fury's a good boxer. You know, that's what he do. You know, but he also got a guy that he's that much bigger than that he can walk down. So let's see what strategy they come up with to try to get a victory. But I just think that this third fight is gonna be harder for both guys than the first two was.
Gonna put you on the spot. Official prediction. How do you see it unfolding?
The fight?
The second fight, yeah.
It's hard to say. I can't even give a prediction right now. But I want to give Fury the edge because his size. I know his athleticism, his boxing ability, but at the same time, I in no shape, form, or fashion underestimate Usyk. Usyk is a hell of a talent, and he's a good champion. He's a good, he's undisputed champion, right? He's undisputed champion. So I think this is all gonna come back to what type of game plan Fury's gonna have. If he's gonna come the same way he did the first 2 times, which I don't believe he will, I believe Sugar Hill will make a lot of different adjustments and have Fury looking a little bit fresher and just a little bit better overall.
Well, what's your current assessment of the heavyweight picture? It's fun. A lot of guys. It's a round robin.
Man,
everyone can get an L on any given night.
I think it's beautiful, man. I think it's beautiful. I think it's you just never know who will be champion again. I mean, I think it's nice. It's very fresh, and everybody getting their shot to the title, and everybody's fighting. Everybody's starting to fight everybody, which is what the public said they wanted. So I think it's awesome.
Who do you think is the most underrated heavyweight right now in the world? Obviously, there's a lot of guys in the top 10. We saw Bakoli, we saw Caballel. We're seeing guys that weren't household names all of a sudden.
I don't think they're underrated. I think they're right where they should be. I think if anybody underrated is Usyk. Usyk is more underrated than everybody else because when he went against AJ, the first thing they did is it was a whitewash. They thought it was going to be a whitewash. I just think that he's underrated. Period. I think, but after the second Fury fight, I think he got a little bit more respect behind his name. But I just think that out of all the top guys, that's underrated. I think Usyk will be one of the first guys that, because he's the smallest, so he looks like the weakest link. I think he's underrated, in my opinion.
Coming from the Klitschko's as well too, seeing another Ukrainian in Usyk kind of take the mantle and carrying it for the country. As an involved participant outside looking in, how do you assess that? Just how it impacts a country and impacts.
I think it's beautiful. I met Usyk right before the Olympics because of the Klitschko brothers being over in the Ukraine. So I've been following his career, and I think it's awesome. I think it's not just Usyk. It's Lomachenko still active. There's a lot of Ukrainian fighters that still is involved in the sport, and I think they're doing they are fighting under a very stressful circumstance. But I think it's awesome.
It's funny, right? It's like Usyk, undisputed heavyweight champ, but he might be one of the most underrated heavyweight champions of all time.
He is. I mean, you think about it. The last undisputed cruiserweight champion that went to heavyweight became undisputed. He was underestimated until XYZ. Because he was smaller. He was shorter. He wasn't as tall and broad as everybody else. But as they kept underestimating him, he kept winning. And then they're like, oh, snap. We got to take this guy seriously. And they took him seriously. And his name was Real Deal Holyfield. They took him seriously, man. Because it's easier to underestimate a smaller guy coming up. You know what I'm saying? It's like another guy. Well, I don't think James Toney was ever underestimated. His skill factor was just phenomenal. I don't think he was underestimated jumping up the heavyweight. But Roy was. They didn't think Roy could compete at heavyweight.
Yeah, against John Ruiz.
Yeah, against John Ruiz. But he came in, dominated the fight, beat him, became heavyweight champion. So I think that was a phenomenal job. Certain guys are underestimated, certain guys not. Because it's easier to underestimate skills when you look at size. When you look at skill, it's not easy to underestimate that. You pay more attention to size than skills. It's a little easier to have that underestimate that individual.
I mean, he's obviously beaten AJ twice, beaten Fury, beaten a lot of top guys already. Dubois. Is there anyone who can beat Usyk, you think, at this point?
At the end of the day, any fighter can be beat. So I would never say he just can't be beat. Any fighter can be beat. They just haven't found the pieces to the puzzle yet.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age. Maybe Father Time might be his biggest.
How old is he?
I believe he's turning 38 soon.
He's still young. That's heavyweight. George Foreman was 45 when he retired.
Right. He also, you know, the last few fights, the Fury fight was a war, but the other ones, you know, he hasn't taken a lot of damage.
I've never seen a 38-year-old man. 38 is not old. He's a young guy. Now, if he was a flyweight and 38 years old, yeah, you could consider that old, but he's a heavyweight, 38 years old. He's just reaching his prime. Let this man spread his wings and fly. He could go another 4 or 5 years if he wants to. You know what I'm saying? As long as he's staying healthy and staying in good condition, I think he'll be fine.
Who would you say is the GOAT of today's heavyweight boxing? We obviously saw Oleksandr Usyk become the undisputed heavyweight champion, beating Tyson Fury. I'm very curious to understand your assessment of that first fight and how the second fight would look like.
For Fury and Usyk?
Yes.
Well, you saw Usyk for 8 rounds or so finally figure out Fury. He let him tire himself out. And I blame Fury for his own demise. He didn't get in good enough shape to overcome the will. And Cuss always said this: will overcome skill 9 times out of 10 unless the skill is so great. And Fury has the skill to be so great to overcome that will, but he didn't. Usyk had that will that overcame Fury. And it was truly amazing to see the fight change in the 8th, 9th round. It was unbelievable. But that is what determination is all about. And what a background, what an upbringing, and a wonderful man, Usyk, in and out of the ring. He's a world champion. How beautiful. And mind you, Mr. Fury as well. Tyson Fury is amazing. A gentle giant, in and out of the ring. But yes, he was going down in the history. He had people believing one of the greatest of all time as well. Usyk changed that. And I believe in the rematch, unless Fury gets in great shape, he's in trouble again.
In one of our conversations, Mike Tyson told me that Cus D'Amato growing up, when Tyson was growing up, said one day people are going to name their children after you. And here we are, Tyson Fury, being named after Mike Tyson, becoming the heavyweight champion of the world, and again trying to become a heavyweight champion of the world. Do you, your prediction in the sequel, do you think Fury can make the adjustments required to beat Usyk, or does Usyk simply have Fury's number in this rivalry?
He doesn't have his number, but anything's possible. But Fury gets in shape. He's got the skill to overcome him. He's got the will to get up off that canvas like he did against Wilder. So never underestimate Tyson Fury whatsoever. Absolutely. But hey, what a fight it's going to be. It's Ali Frazier all over again. How beautiful to see it.
Yeah. And today, and we're nearing the
You
50.
need it.
Yeah. And when you're with Mike during training camp, does he say, you know what, I can take on the guys today. I could take on Fury. I could take on Usyk. Does he still have that competitive drive in him where he thinks that he's still insurmountable and the baddest man on the planet? Is that demeanor still there for him?
Well, that's exactly what he is. And when he trains, you see that. He's exactly that, the baddest man on the planet. And there's 25, 30-year-old heavyweights now that I just shake my head at. They don't work anywhere near as hard as him. Our beloved sport deserves better, and we need more champions like Usyk and Fury. And yeah, I believe on any given day, look, if it's what Cuss said, you put your mind to it, you can achieve and accomplish anything you put your mind to. And that's what Mike's been all about his whole career. So however he walks into the sunset is his, again, the world is his and all that's in it, as Rudyard Kipling said.
And Billy, how do you think Tyson would have fared in today's heavyweight division, where it seems like everyone is beatable on any given night?
Mike would be at the top of the ranks. He could be the youngest champion and the oldest champion. Again, all he has to do is put his mind to it. It's that simple. But it's hard work, naturally, as you well know. Our sport, you have to train like you've never trained before.
for Usyk and Fury. Break it down to me. How do you see the rematch happening?
I think the I think the ball is in Fury's court. I think that Usyk showed what he can do and is just gonna double down on that. I think what worked for Usyk will work again the next time or this in this next competition. I think it's up to Fury to be able to keep Usyk at bay and to utilize more feints, a little more movement, and keep that distance. But I mean, like it was, and at the end of the day, it wasn't like Usyk washed Tyson Fury. It was a relatively close fight. It was like between 2 rounds. So I think that it's minor changes that Fury has to make in order to make a big difference. And if Usyk could double down, continue to use those lateral movements, and get in on Fury, I think he'll do better than he even did in his first fight. Just moral of the story is I would give the advantage to Usyk just because he has a game plan now. But you can't count Tyson Fury out.
So you're going with your fellow Southpaw.
I'm edging it towards my fellow Southpaw, yes, but at the end of the day, I'm a huge Tyson Fury fan as well, and I'm excited to see how he changes his game plan.
Who do you think wins the rematch? Oleksandr Usyk or Tyson Fury?
Cuando tú peleaste con Berichick, peleó Fury contra Usyk, fue la primera pelea. Entonces te quiero hacer la pregunta, ¿quién ganaría o quién ganará la revancha?
Pues yo creo que si viene bien preparado Tyson Fury puede ser un poco más complicado para Usyk, ¿no? Sin embargo, Usyk, su fortaleza física lo ha sacado adelante. Creo que va a ser difícil también para Fury contrarrestar esa, esa victoria por parte de Usyk. No va a ser complicado, pero pues es también de repente ya la edad o tal vez el tiempo ya pasó para Tyson Fury. En lo personal, posiblemente creo que eso le pudo haber afectado y ya no es lo mismo que antes.
Well, I think if Fury prepares, it could be a very difficult rematch for Usyk. But we saw the Usyk's strength and how he took him to the victory the first time. And it also could be very difficult for Fury to counter that initial victory. So it is going to be difficult. And also, I think that maybe age will be a factor for Fury in this fight.